Good morning, good afternoon, I should say, hot afternoon here in El Paso, Texas. Yeah, just before I began recording today's episode of the Randall Cadenhead Report, news broke that Dolly Parton, country music legend, singer-songwriter, and actress, passed away at the age of 80. At the age of 80, at her home in Nashville, Tennessee. Her publicist said in a statement. Dolly Parton was a huge part of my life growing up, and I'm pretty sure of others as well. Her music, her songs, it touched a lot of people, myself included. I, re, I remember watching her movie 9 to 5 when I was a kid, and I pray for her family and friends and her, those closest to her. May she rest in peace. It appears that the war in Iran is entering a new phase. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced yesterday what he termed as an economic onslaught against Iran, as well as Iran's trading partners. It doesn't appear that any action has actually been taken or that the new punitive sanctions have been implemented, just that warnings and threats are being made at this moment. And Scott Bessent didn't appear to offer any new details on what these sanctions would look like. And I have heard two lines of thought regarding this particular plan. And the one thought I'm reading in the Telegram earlier today was that this is a strategy that from Trump that could actually work, which I'm not too sure about. And then you have publications like or news media organizations like Al Jazeera saying that it would be difficult to work. Al Jazeera seems to hope that Russia and China are going to bail Iran out, apparently. China and Russia are Iran's two biggest trading partners. China has already said that they will ignore these new sanctions, and I'm pretty sure that Russia will be also. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has decreed that the state can temporarily seize control of critical infrastructure facilities if their private owners fail to protect them during Ukrainian drone attacks or to rebuild them afterwards. Actually, now this one seems to be a backdoor that Putin is reinstituting Soviet style controls in Russia, government controls in Russia by the back door. And Trump and Putin is a KGB former KGB agent. I would not put that past him that he would. This North American trade war between the United States and Canada is intensifying. Canada this morning hit back at the United States, levying retaliatory tariffs on around $20 billion worth of American goods that enter Canada. This appears to include steel, dairy products, appliances, and farm equipment. The Canadian tariffs are in retaliation for the 50% tariffs imposed by Trump on Canadian goods. Yesterday, Trump told Canadian leaders to fall in line, which sound like very strong words to be giving an American ally. Trump said that Canada's leaders should either, quote, fall in line, unquote, or face consequences, quote unquote, far worse than tariffs. I don't know what Trump is hinting at there. Is he threatening to bomb Canada? Because I don't know what would be far worse than tariffs. his war on Iran has failed in achieving the objectives that he laid out in February 28th. So I'm guessing he's now picking on Canada, who he thinks would be much more of a pushover. Because I don't know why he's picking on Canada. Earlier this morning, Trump again provoked Canada by saying that he was giving serious consideration to renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America as part of a feud he has with Ontario's Premier Doug Ford. Yesterday Doug Ford told Trump that he could kiss his ass, which I'm pretty sure Trump didn't care for very much. Trump had this harkens back to the beginning of Trump's term when Trump unilaterally, by executive order, renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Trump has also ripped Canada for what he sees as our friendly neighbor to the north, ripping the United States off in trade practices. This whole episode with Canada is surreal. Senator Darlene Graham, who I'm guessing is now the incumbent in the Senate race in South Carolina, will be facing off against Congressman Ralph Norman in the Senate GOP primary runoff in South Carolina today. Darlene Graham, who is the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, was also the head of a state independent living agency, which in my book is a bonus. But I'm worried that an answer that she gave a few days ago in a debate to a question regarding her views on Taiwan, that national security was not her area of expertise. That she would be a strong supporter of Trump's policy agenda. That might work, but that also might not work, and I'm worried that it might have hurt her more than it helped her. Trump got an important victory into the Supreme Court yesterday. The High Court, in an emergency ruling Monday, opening up a path for the possible implementation of Trump's executive order that restricts mail-in voting. Personally, I honestly don't exactly have an issue with that. A couple of the ASEN and the AAPD, two organizations that have been involved with, are opposed to Trump's policy regarding mail-in voting, saying that it would jeopardize the right of people with disabilities and their access to vote. I know the administration claims that people with disabilities are exempted. But one issue that I'm concerned about as a Federalist, I am concerned about this idea of nationalizing elections. And I hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.